joining these spaces, Afro, whether having politicians and hosting politicians is the right thing. But after listening to Tribeless, I am now 100% sold that it is extremely important that they come here and they listen to the voice of the people, because we've been hearing the cries. Senior Counsel, I beg to differ on a number of things. First of all, I am very happy that you got to hear that emotional presentation by Tribeless. And I just pray that you can do some personal reflection when you are witness to the atrocities in Kiambaa and did nothing when you were Minister for Justice. It is not enough. I want to tell you, it is not enough that you resigned from that government. You are still senior counsel. Do not come here and speak to us as if you are one of us. We are not advocates of the High Court of Kenya. We are not senior counsels, but you are. As far as I am concerned, if you want to inject yourself in this movement, we need to see you physically marching with these people, because you know very well, if you're marching, they will not shoot. If you're there with the Gen Zs, the atrocities that we are witnessing will not happen. You cannot sit quiet and tweet when bodies are being discovered at City Mortuary. I am sorry, but as far as we are concerned, and as far as we have seen, you have been there. We were so proud of you when you walked out on Moi. You know, you've been saying some of them were not born. Yes, some of them were not born, but some of us were. We were proud of you when you walked out on Moi. We were proud of you when you did resign. However, what then happened? As far as we are concerned, it was just political posturing. Later on, you came back and became Raila's running mate. You cannot tell us that you have not benefited. Of course you have benefited. And we keep hearing the talking down on this movement. We keep hearing the infantilization that their children, my grandchildren. Do not call them your grandchildren. These are adults. Accord them the respect and the honor of the achievements that they have had, because none of you, and probably even us, my generation, I am Generation X, we did not achieve even an iota of what this generation has been able to achieve. So if at least you do want to be associated and respected by this movement, let us see your actions. Let us hear your voice. Do not just tweet, add Ruto must go, because that is what has led this movement to have the success that it has had. Put pressure on the international community. You have been a minister in the government. Let us see you exposing some of the things that you know. Let us see you be part of that push to get this entire regime and all the evils out. That is what we require from you. That is what we expect from you. And please, 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 step back, as some of us are doing, and allow the Gen Zs to stand. Do not stand. Sacrifice yourself, sacrifice your leadership to nurture new leadership that is uncorrupted. And thank you for applauding the leaderlessness, because that is one thing I've been saying. And let us amplify the voice of the Gen Z. I literally just picked the mic because of that. Those who know us here, we've been fighting to keep the fire going. Nane Senior Counsel, I hope we will be seeing you and not just listening to rhetoric. Thank you, Afro.
So shukran sana kwa hiyo submission Chege. Labda Martha ungependa kumjibu?
Yes, and I would begin by asking him, why do you want to see me in the demonstrations and you do not want me to stand? You don't want to offer me to offer myself for leadership. It is
yes,
not.
I will answer.
Let me just say this. It is not correct for any one person to arrogate to themselves the right to tell another Kenyan, irrespective of age or circumstance, that you cannot participate in this one. If it's a constitutional right, let me be guided by my conscience, not by your caution. And I want to tell you, tribeless, that you cannot say that as a minister during the burning of Kiambaa, I did nothing. A minister of justice does not control police. I cannot tell you everything I did, but in places I made calls. You remember those days, it's provincial commissioners who were in charge of the security in the provinces. I made calls to the Rift Valley provincial commissioner, who is now a politician, and I will not name him. I tried where I could when I found that my colleagues were failing to get the police to act. And if you remember that time, the police were divided. So there are some who were watching atrocities, doing nothing. But there is nothing more that could be done that I didn't do. And I didn't control the police. So that just like you, I learned of some atrocities that were committed after they were done. But maybe my face was seen more because I was speaking and others were not speaking. I don't need to defend myself. You can go back to history. When I have been in demonstrations since I was youthful in the university, before even coming out, and thereafter as an opposition politician, and during the fight for multi-party, and also fighting for Section 2A to be repealed. So I can very well sit here and tell you that I've done my bit. Let the young people of this time also do their bit, because every generation has their work cut out. When I say these are my children and grandchildren, I'm not speaking down to them. For goodness sake, I'm 66. A person of 30 and even 40 is young enough to be my child. A person of 20 is my grandchild. If I was merely calling them that and not lauding what they are doing, not appreciating the milestone, you could say I'm talking down to them. I definitely have not talked down to the Gen Zs and the millennials. I have acknowledged them anytime that I could on my timeline and everywhere. And I have actually said we sit back. And why so far we have not come out, the Ruto regime was looking for somebody to blame. And if you remember, the Gen Zs also did not want politicians there. They were looking for who is leading the protest. Look at a position if we had come out. They would have been calling it yet another Azimio demonstration. But I did say earlier that it has gotten to a point where we need a real groundswell and where everybody needs to come out and support. I will not tell you what I'll do, but I do think that the time has come for everybody. But let's not try to prescribe. You cannot prescribe. You can persuade me and I can persuade you, but you cannot prescribe to me. You build a movement through persuasion, not through prescription. Thank you.
Shukran sana Chege. Wasikia Mama Martha ni Iron Lady, kwa
Yeah,
hivyo
I'm here, but she asked me to answer a question, and I'd like to reply. Senior Counsel, I'm not prescribing for sure, because at the end of the day, your rights are your rights. However, two things that I want to point out to you. Why do I want you to go to the streets, and I do not want you, and yet I don't want you to offer yourself? The reason why I want you to go to the streets is because these children and grandchildren of yours, as you're calling them, when you are there, when, for example, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya would march with them, you know very well they will not shoot. It is a powerful, powerful statement. Yes, you did your part, and I acknowledge that. I acknowledge your right to choose to let them lead, and that is fine. Why not offer yourself? Why I feel you should not offer yourself is because in 2007 we saw you swearing in Kibaki. Then you became the minister. You resigned, then you became the running mate. So your moves for us are suspect, and therefore we are questioning you. We are putting you to task to tell us whether this rejection of Azimio is yet another ploy, because that is what you do as politicians, and we are judging you by your actions and your previous actions. That is the reason why I'm saying, in fact, it is a submission that can you consider at your age taking a step back, because our generation was lied to that we are the leaders of tomorrow, and yet our tomorrow was taken away from us. We have been saying very loud and clear to the Gen Zs, you are the leaders of today, and we are going to do our best to make sure that your future is not stolen from you. Can you join us? Thank you.
Do you want me to say something or we leave it there?
Kama ungependa kuongea unaweza kuifupisha labda.
Ni kusema tu.
We can always also leave it there. The future will judge. There is a future after 8-8.
Okay, we'll leave it.
Okay, shukran sana. Chege, samahani, tutaenda labda kwa huu mwanadada aitwa Josephine. Baada ya Josephine tuende kwa the other guy, alafu kisha tutachukua round nyingine, alafu ikiwezekana labda fupisha submission yako ili tupate watu wengi watoe donge lao. Shukran. Josephine.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, endelea.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Afro Cedric, thank you for giving us this opportunity to continue hearing our issues and the grievances, and also our plan for Nane. And the one thing I want to say is that we need to be very focused and very determined on what we want and what we think we are doing. Right now, I've been listening for the last almost 2 hours